Innovation's a joke, but this weekend they're teenagers and something, so. Well, can I ask you a question then?
Yeah.
You're telling me about her and you're letting me know what to prepare for. So when you ride this test, what do you think your strong points are? What do you think your weak points are?
Oh dear.
That's okay. It's not like you don't have to have an answer either. Just
Yeah, I don't know.
like I feel like most people know, like when they read the comments, they expect them.
Oh yeah, I feel like I know so I know where my weak points are.
Yeah.
I think going across the diagonal, I'm gonna have to push her because that's where she's gonna want to suck back a little bit. Stop, please. Stop, please. And our halts are going to be, because she'll maybe swing to the left and she resists. She kind of pulls against it and she's like not sure, like she's like, do I have to halt? Are you gonna make me halt? Or
Okay. Well, do you want to ride through the test now and then we'll see where we're at?
sure.
Okay. You have a call. You have a caller.
Are you ready? Yeah.
Most important.
Yeah.
Are you ready or do you need a moment?
I'll do it.
You take the time you need. If you want a little bit more time, that's okay.
Just maybe circle and then go.
Sure. Good.
Yeah.
A, enter working trot. X, halt, salute. Proceed working trot. C, track right. Proceed to B. B, turn right. E, turn left. Proceed to A. A, circle left, 20 meters. Proceed to F. F, proceed to X. X, proceed on center line to C. Near C, medium walk. C, track left. Proceed to H. H, X, F, chain ring, free walk. F, medium walk to A. A, working trot and circle right, 20 meters. Proceed to K. K, proceed to X. X, proceed on center line to C.
usually work.
Yeah, well, she's bored.
The hump one, well, the first one was a great, but the second one was a, but the walk on center line, she was like, again, every plan. It was like, no, use your body. I felt like I had to like get after her.
So you felt like, what did you say?
I would feel like I had to like get after her, like I wasn't getting enough trot, like or enough walk, like everything was just kind of laid back, like her,
She has a delayed response, eh?
yeah, her relaxed self. It's like there's not usually a sense of urgency in her
No.
way of going.
Does she back up well?
I
Not
know.
yet?
Tried
Or-
that.
Yeah,
on the ground-
I think you teach them to do, they can, will use against you, so sometimes at the lower levels, we don't teach them that.
On the ground, that took a little persuasion.
Pardon?
On the ground, like she would do, like she'll do a step or one step or two, but like now we've been working on it, and now we're getting more steps. Like she'll do a bit, and then she'll go, like that's enough.
Yeah.
But now, like on the ground, it's becoming more quick of a response. Like she knows what I'm asking her to do.
Yeah.
Haven't tried under saddle.
She's just very calm, she.
Generally.
Yeah. So, you haven't found it like if you get after her a little bit, it isn't gonna light her up to the point of, like just, she doesn't do anything to scare you or anything.
Not that I haven't tested a ton. But no, I haven't felt that. Like I haven't felt, otherwise she wouldn't be riding her.
Yeah.
But
It's hard.
I haven't pushed her to the point if I know she's getting on her as well.
And so you board here, do you ride her too? Yeah. And you, yes, I get to see you in a second too, right?
So, usually Kelly will ride London first, and then Lily will get on.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes when they're 4, they haven't like fully come into season and stuff yet, and then you get a little concerned they hit 6 or 7, that suddenly they act like a mare. So many people, like 4-year-olds, they're like, they're not marish, and then suddenly they're mares. Yeah, so, so it's probably better to get after the little tiny bit of nappiness now, because that can turn into snarkiness later. They only think like forward when you. I feel, so here's the thing, right, when you squeeze them and they don't go, like we thought it was that really pretty thing that when you ask them to go, or make the button and get them to go.
Yeah.
I feel like when we're training,
Yeah.
and then we're giving our massage therapists and that, business. Because the horses, we're training them to race against us and resist, and that's what's making their sore muscles, that's what's making them, because they're sitting there, so when we put leg on, we're training them to race back against that.
And that's what I found with this horse. She very easily gets behind the leg and just tune it out, and then she gets heavy into the hand. Now they were on vacation for a week and a half, so I was riding her. I'm really working on, no, I mean, and she would carry herself and stay forward. The first ride was not so pretty.
Well, the hard part when you're like an adult amateur and you're hyper aware of like all the bad things in the world that can happen to you, and that is that sometimes we're like, no, I really mean go, we're really making, but we're really staying inside. But please don't. Please don't go too much, right? When you do like, does she understand flexion? Because there were some moments up in the corner there when she came to come across that little short diagonal and come up, where she rounded and she was soft and it looked really something else. Because when you touch the bit, it's like she answers it by locking her foot. And that's how she practices, like, that's how she balances. massage her back and you get it on. Bend is in her body, right? So bend is your leg. Bend is her relationship. A lot of people are trying to get the bend in the neck, but you just want flexion in the neck. So if I do a tiny touch there, I'm just looking for that, too much. If she has to switch her body, she has to switch her body or do anything. So left, see how she kind of wants her wholeness to face the left. So then you can do it when you're off. Little tiny touch there. I want you to choose a bit and just look to the left. I don't care where there. That's it. And what eventually you're looking for is for this part to flip. So if she's flexed to the right, her crest eventually, when you do it properly, is a tiny bit of right eye, tiny bit of right nostril, and her crest will be big. And then when she flexes to the left, she'll turn to the left. And that's when you really start at the left. If it's walking her neck, you will do it. And I remember being like taught that flip, right? But you're looking for that. So when you're on her, like you're standing, just teaching her that the tiniest touch, so like a tiny little like lift with no weight behind it. You're not trying to counterbalance or anything. Just means look to the right, tiny little touch on the left. You choose and just look to the left to the best up there. The best of your right. That's all you want. Before you make a turn, before you do anything, you set it up to get that little bit more. So she's actually looking in the direction she's going instead of listening to that. Going to that sort of, again, so not being, they're not stiff to be stiff, they're stiff to stable. Right. So they protect their knees to be quiet. Right. Tiffany, and so the resistance is probably protecting the opposite force, right? So she doesn't have all the musculature and penetration like developed using her skeleton. So walking her on, if you can get her to flex a little bit, to the right. And you eventually want to be able to just sort of, when you do it classical and just a tiny little lift from one range to another. It's like a lift to the left right tiny, and she gets a little back, and a little tiny lift to the right, and then she goes right. And that's it. All she can do is look right over here. You have a left here, and then that's right there, you got it right here. So already you got her being pretty hard. You know, and then you're sort of rolling around with this little bell.
And I kind of just like ride with it, but I feel like I'm on task at times, like I'm just kind of letting her head be sweet.
Yeah, but you need your conversation, like riding a conversation, right? Now, using your legs, try to avoid getting sucked into the pit while squeezing all the time, or like the squeeze behind the pit. Did you start off and conquer some jumpers? No. Should I say yes? No. Because we're taught to squeeze all the time, right? Like you hear growing up, it's like leg, more leg, and then you took off the leg and the pony just stopped up. Right. But try to let your legs just hang and just sort of be relaxed around them. Like take it lazy. Like she has to be self-going and she has to learn that from it. She has to be. So if you ask her to walk, what's her optimal walk right now? With a knee free and just maintain that. Don't push her along your feet. You have to push your feet when she's not moving her back. She's not moving her back. So there's not. It's okay. That's okay. A little more. Yeah. So instead of squeezing, try to do a little hop, like it's not, we ride them around because we're driving harder than every year. We ride them around letting them keep the foot on the gas. Put her into walking gear, and then have her be self-going. And only bother her with your leg, like, okay, you need more walk. Because you're like, if you were going any slower, you'd be going backward. And then a little bump again. Yeah, and then the leg just let it sit. And just let it stay underneath you. And then she sucks back again. So little bump from your leg. And it's up to you, both of you riders, to be on it and to notice the second she dives back down and get after it. But then leave her alone and let her be on like an auto for walk. So again, ask for a little more walk and then leave her alone. And those soft, supple legs you get from leaving her alone really help your seat. Beautiful. And then while she's walking, you've got a nice active rhythm again after a little bit more. Like a little tiny outside your comfort coming forward. There we go. And then don't keep squeezing, right? Yeah. So here's the thing with the baby horse that's have the conversation again.
Right.
But if you always just keep your lower leg on all the time because that's what works to get an all right walk, then you're never going to have that conversation. So ask her to be forward. So you delegate that to her, and then leave her alone. And then when she falls off, ask her to be forward again, delegate that to her, and then leave her alone. That she can be in charge of that, of maintaining that walk. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So your non-negotiable is, if I ask you to walk, this is how you walk.
Right. And I'm riding like that all the time. Like I feel like our big word these days is consistency.
Yeah.
And because sometimes I'll get on and it's like nice that it's kind of chill, and then but you can't have that. It has to be on. I feel like I have to be on more consistent.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm confusing her.
So while she walks around, think of the Bee Gees song, Stay Alive. So right now it would be like, you can tell by the way I use my walk. And we want it to be like, you can tell by the way I use my walk.
Okay.
So a little more march. So a little more.
I feel like I need to like.
Yep. And so here's the thing, right? There might be some sass that comes behind this, but if you don't have the conversation now, you're kicking the can down the road for when you're doing more, and it comes out bigger. So I'd rather have the conversation now, at the very basics of the walk. Now, leg on and go, and then legs off. There, and then she's moving your back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you find yourself, don't take pictures, right? If you find yourself like shoving the saddle, the horse is not self-going. And like one of my biggest complaints, I think last summer was like, they're not self-going. These horses are coming in and they're just being ground around the ring. So self-going. And like the walk is the queen of all gates. So you're not wasting time walking. So the walk, it's like in your test, I think it's like the walk work is times 2. Right? You get to the training level, the walk work is so important and everyone just gives those points away. So now stay a little out of the corner because she's a baby and just bump the legs. So it's easier for her to balance, right? Like babies go in. So now, right, to balance actually walking, she's like, it might be easier to trot. Right? Also, if I get a tail swish, I'm like, nope, go. Because the tail swish is also a test, right? The tail swish is like soft. And then we go, I'm sorry, don't do anything worse. So give me a little fuck and a little fuck. Yeah, and then let her move your back and feel it like to actually use your lower back to just fall over. And then if you find suddenly that you're pushing with your seat in, think about how irritating that would be in your back and in your shoulder. Like we're sitting in that saddle, driving it forward, taking the points of the tree and just doing this to them. So you want yourself going so that your feet never jam into the saddle as you're going. Does that make sense? Yeah. No bump from your legs, just on and off. So don't worry about like squeezing, just keep the legs long, relaxed, and a quick bump, like quick on and off. So that you can stop at mid, like say you did this, look at me, you went bump, bump.
Right.
If you did this and suddenly she went forward, you could stop mid-second bump and not bump her. Right. So a little bump, quick. Yeah, and then give her a scratch and say, that's what I wanted. Just don't keep bumping her. Because then she's like,
But I did it.
if I did it and she kept bumping me, like it actually takes strength to not. See how you want to bump her all the time?
Yeah.
So, you're going to go around in a circle, and the only places you're allowed to bump her are like let's say the wall, center line, and the wall. Those are the only places you're allowed, so they have to be checked. So bump, and now leave her alone, don't use leg out. And then bump again, and then leave her alone, don't use your leg out. Kick it forward, cowboy leg.
Yeah, but sometimes you get a reaction and sometimes you don't.
Well, because it barely lands. So legs away, don't create this white noise. Finger on and off, like wrist to front. Now leave her alone. feel how, watch her neck and move your hands kind of with that. And then her ears are forward and her ears are moving around and she looks a little less tuned out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now, pick up the trot, and if she's comfortable doing this, just pick up the trot in a light seat. So like a little minor 2-point.